Hi everybody, it's Mandy and welcome to my channel, Just One More Bag 01. If you're new here, thanks for joining. I generally talk about luxury bags, travel, wine, and Yorkies too. And for those of you returning, thank you so much for joining me again. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, I hope that you would consider subscribing today to keep up with me and all of my future videos. Today, I really wasn't planning on filming a video. However, I was watching YouTube purse videos like I do every single day, and I was watching Winnie B. LV talk about unicorn bags. And it's actually a unicorn bag tag. So the purpose of the tag video is to show a past unicorn bag, your current unicorn bag, and what is your future unicorn bag. And I was very inspired and excited when I watched her video, and I was like, oh, I want to do this. I gotta put something together quickly, and here we are. So we'll have an extra video this week. So let's start out with my past unicorn bag. And this one is still pretty special to me. And what's a little different or unique maybe from this tag is that this isn't truly the past unicorn bag, but I'll explain. So let's get right into it. It is actually a very old Coach tote bag. And I really liked this bag and used it for a long time. I have not used it for quite some time. However, it still lives in part of my collection. And as I mentioned, this bag specifically was not a unicorn bag. However, what it kind of symbolizes and means to me is more of a unicorn bag type of situation. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. My first bag from Coach was actually a gift from the team that I had worked with. I supported a group of reps, and for Christmas, they all went in and bought me a Coach bag that I had really wanted. One of the ladies I worked with knew I had wanted it, and she kind of coordinated those efforts, and it was just such a kind gesture. You know, I kept working, and I got to a point in my life where I could start to afford to purchase some Coach bags, and then I was also giving them as gifts to my family for Christmas. And it was a unicorn bag situation thought for me of being able to do that and share my joy and love for Coach purses at that time with the people that I cared about most, excuse me. So I thought that I would share that because, you know, I look at this bag and I kind of think about all of those memories, and you know, it was just a really cool feeling. So that's why this Coach bag still resides in my collection, even though I don't use it, because it kind of takes me back to that time. And really that's where my love for bags started, was with that first one that I received as a gift. And then I was able to start to gift it to others and share my love for bags. So that is my past unicorn bag. Moving right along, we will get to the current unicorn bag. All right, so my current unicorn bag was not really something I ever thought that I would have. Some of you may recall me saying that I wasn't really huge into Hermes. It was more Louis Vuitton for me. However, I always liked this bag, and then recently I had the opportunity to purchase this bag. And it's not something that's very easy to come by. So it is the Rose Sakura Picotin 18. And I was offered this at the store in the United States with no purchase history. I had talked to the rep once. I did do an unboxing for this recently, but I never really went into the story time on it. So I had gone into the Hermes store and I met a very kind woman. I had asked her for her card, and told her that I was thinking of looking to Hermes a little bit more in the future, and I was looking for someone to work with. I had also tried on a pair of shoes that I liked for work, but they were just a little too pointy for me, and I ended up not buying them. No pressure, very kind. I took her card. And when I went back to the store, I had just been in the Louis Vuitton store, and I had purchased the graffiti keep all, and I had some other bags with me. I was carrying a ton of stuff, and I wanted to talk to the Hermes rep, but I didn't have her information. So I was like, oh, I'll just go back into the store. Well, she was helping some other customers, and I waited for her, and I probably waited for her about 30, 40 minutes. And, I didn't mind. I didn't tell her I was coming. I didn't have an appointment, but I was lugging all these bags around, and I felt like I was in people's way. However, it was fine. They all were very kind and offered me drinks. So I started talking to her, and I was really looking for an agenda cover in a pink color. And they didn't have any, so she told me she'd keep an eye out. And she's like, oh, anything else? And I bought a lipstick there from her, but she had to order it. And she's like, is there anything else? And I was like, well, do you have any Picatons by chance? And she was like, well, what color would you be looking for? And I was like, well, pink ideally, or maybe a gray. And her face kind of lit up. I remember seeing it, and she's like, stay right here, I'll be right back. And I'm like, from everything I hear, it's so difficult to get any bags. So I wasn't really expecting anything. Honestly, I was expecting for her to come back to me and say, oh, we don't have anything. And again, I had no relationship with her. She didn't know my name. I don't even know if she remembered me from the first time. However, she came back with a box, and I was super excited. And then to see that it was the rose sakura color, it had the palladium hardware, I was just ecstatic. And I've been using this bag, and I love it. Picaton may not be somebody's holy grail unicorn bag, but for me, it was because I wasn't very much into the Hermes to the point where I would even expect anything. And the fact that it was the rose sakura, which I know is such a hard color to come by, I think it is kind of a unicorn Hermes bag to get at the store and not on the resale market. So this is my current unicorn bag, and I love it. All right, so let's think about future unicorn bags. What bags do I want that is not something in my collection? I don't have anything like it. What's the bag I've been searching for or looking for? So I can tell you that I had really, really wanted a Stephen Sprouse Speedy bag in the pink, ideally. Secondary would be a green bag. They are 20 years old, hard to come by in excellent condition. And I personally have never bought a pre-loved bag. So it's kind of hard for me to wrap my head around having a bag that's that old. I know for sure I would have to spa that bag, send it to Louis Vuitton to, definitely have the vachetta placed or do whatever I could to make it look new again. And I've just really been holding off for that reason. I also was able to get the Marc Jacobs Stephen Sprouse edition recently. So I feel like this has kind of filled that gap for me. And then, being able to purchase the Graffiti Speedy from the new collection, the Scribble collection is what it is actually called, part of the Damier other, but the Scribble collection. I feel that I've kind of filled that gap for now. And I'm not saying that if a Stephen Sprouse Speedy came about, or I've come in contact with somebody who I know that maybe has one that's willing to let one go, that I would turn that down, because I'm not saying that's the case. But what my unicorn future bag is might surprise some people, because it's actually a Neverfull from Louis Vuitton. Back in 2023, they had the Spring in the City collection, and there is a midnight fuchsia bag that is absolutely beautiful. It is just such a pretty color. I love the ombre style, gradient ombre design on the bag with the pink to going to the black. And my husband was so kind, and he drove me all over the place to different stores to try to find them, to try to find this bag. And I did end up getting a wallet, and then I could never get the bag. I was not a VIC back then. I didn't have a particular client advisor that I was working with consistently. I would just go in and purchase from whoever at the time. I live in between two stores. Now I really focus on one store as my main store. One's about 45 minutes away. The other store is about an hour away. So really for me, it doesn't matter, you know, to drive 15 extra minutes to go to the store wasn't that big of a deal. But that's really the bag I've been looking for quite some time now. I have seen it on the resale market a couple times, and it is generally priced close to $1,000 over retail. And that's just a hard pill for me to swallow. I haven't pulled the trigger on it because of that. I don't know if, you know, maybe I will someday in the future or not. Every time I see the bag, I think about it. I'm kind of hoping that my husband just buys it for me and surprises me as a present one day, because that would definitely be very exciting. You know, just with the resale market, I do always kind of worry if it's definitely real too. And, you know, it's a lot of money to spend to then later find out that it may not be a real bag. So that's my holy grail bag, my unicorn bag that I'm kind of searching for, had been searching for. Can't tell you how many different stores my husband drove me around to looking for that bag when it was out. And unfortunately, I just couldn't get it. I did think I'd just share a little bonus with you guys, something that's kind of fun. My husband actually has a unicorn bag of his own. So his is actually a keep-all, and it would be from the Pharrell Williams Damier with the color pop design. He really enjoyed that collection. He has the yellow belt from the collection. And then as a gift, I was able to find him the card holder wallet. So this is something that I actually was able to find in one of the stores in the Netherlands. Fortunately, one of the sales managers that I work with lives in the Netherlands, and I reached out to him and I asked him if he could order it for me because I was going to be seeing him at a trade show coming up shortly after that. So he helped to get this for me because this was also very hard to get. I was looking for this for my husband all in the US and wasn't able to get a hold of it. I don't know if maybe we were just too late. It just sold out too quickly in the yellow color specifically. But he really wants to keep all in this design. And what really stinks is we were in Paris and they had the bag there at the Champs-Élysées store, the main store when we went in there, and we should have bought it and we didn't. So that's kind of like the bag that got away for us. So this design and the keep all for him is what he wants. He also was saying that he really wanted to have a leather keep all at the time. He wasn't really sure how he felt about having a canvas bag, just feeling that the leather would hold up better. So those are my unicorn bags and a little bit about why I feel they are. My unicorn bags might be a little bit off topic from what Winnie B was kind of describing in the tag, but I hope that you guys thought this was fun and enjoyed hearing about these couple unicorn bags for me. I would like to tag Dia from Opulent Obsessions, and I'd also like to tag Lori from Smiling Cats Couture. I want to see if she has some Murakami unicorns, and Dia, I'm really excited to see what holy grail bags you have that are your unicorns too. And if anybody else is watching and you want to do this tag, please feel free to do it and tag me because I would love to see your videos. I just thought this was such a fun tag to do and bring everybody together and learn a little bit about everyone's style and what inspires them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I would really appreciate it if you would like the video or add some comments, give me some feedback on my unicorn bags and what you think. And you know, even if you're not going to do the tag, please tell me what your unicorn bag is for your past, future, and present. I'd love to hear. All right, guys, I hope that you have a great night. Thank you.